Charged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, it's time for the season finale of our 2018 Formula 2 World Championship driving as Lando Norris. Guys, the championship was banked at the previous round in Russia. So this one here at Abu Dhabi is only going to be one heap load of fun. We're going to try and end off the season with at least one win. But knowing Abu Dhabi and knowing myself, that's going to be easier said than done. So guys, let's head straight into qualifying and please enjoy this F2 finale with me. Yeah.
As all cars are now over the line, your top three again are Tete Camara, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. So then, Carlin have done it. This result seals their victory, and they are team champions at last. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F2 action soon. And it's a warm welcome to Yas Island, where we're in for what should be a thrilling session. We're just about ready to get qualifying underway for the Formula 2 Abu Dhabi race.
You guys know by now it's only one shot qualifying. Please drop a like down below to send me good luck for this season finale. The more likes, the merrier. Guys, quickly adjusting the wings. Guys, I was really looking forward to this weekend. I love this Abu Dhabi track. It's a track that demands a lot from the driver, and it really punishes stupid mistakes. So you really have to be on it at this circuit. And with me struggling with consistency, this circuit demands consistency, as you guys can take note of by now. So inconsistency really costs you a lot here around Abu Dhabi. But guys, heading into qualifying, first of all, these F2 cars are not a joke to drive around here. They are really, really hard. In my opinion, harder than the F1 cars by far around this circuit. But I am not complaining. I was enjoying every single second of this. And as you guys see, we opened the DRS for the first of the two very long straights that this track has. Only two DRS zones. Heading into this very, very tight chicane. It's a first gear corner. F1 and F2 cars. First gear, bounce the car over the curbs. Second gear, as you bounce over the second one to get the traction coming out of the chicane. Heading on to the second, well, you can call it a curve basically. DRS zone, open up the DRS, sixth gear as we go onto the very, very tight next 90-degree left-hander. It's also a first gear corner if you are a little bit later to the brakes, but if you are perfect, you can do it like I just did there in second gear. Bounce the car over both the inside curves as you go through that chicane into another 90-degree left-hander. Bounce the car over the curb. I was a little bit too eager on the curbs there, but not the end of the world. Heading through this double right-hander, which is flat out in all both different types of cars on the F1 game. Going underneath the very famous Yas Marina Hotel. A very beautiful sight to see indeed. Second gear, bounce the car over the inside curve. I missed the apex just a little bit as I tried to bounce the car over the curve. Heading into the final two quarters. And we are going to put our car in for the final feature race of the season. It is going to be
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. Russell, De Vries and Alexander Albon. So then, Carlin have done it. This result seals their victory, and they are team champions at last. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye. It's race day for our young drivers here in the United Arab Emirates, where the Yas Island circuit is about to play host to the Abu Dhabi Formula 2 race. Let's get started. So the Yas Island circuit offers 21 corners and a lap distance of around 3.4 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in two places, turns 8 and 11. Plenty of close racing then, plenty of speed, and plenty of excitement for the fans, no doubt. In the commentary box for the big race today, I'm Alex Jakes, and joining me once again, it's Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as well as being the 2012 GP2 champion, you also have experience as a test driver in F1. What would you say are the biggest differences for people fresh to the world of F2?
Well, Alex, I think it's an exciting time in Formula 2 right now. For spectators, a lot of excitement comes from all the drivers being in the same car. That puts the emphasis on driver skills, meaning lots of overtakes, which means exciting race for us.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. George Russell lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Nick de Vries, a strong showing from the Dutch driver. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Tete Camara, Luca Giotto, and Markelov, Latifi, Delatraz, Aitken, Antonio Fuoco, Norris, Gunter, Narei Fukuzumi, and Galeo, Merry, Makino, Maney, and Dorian Boccolacci. Lorandi and Nico Kari completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I'll try not to, Jeff, but after that terrible qualifying, this is going to be one very, very hard race. Guys, jam with me on the formation lap for the final 2018 F2 feature race. Let's not do anything silly as we head to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi feature race. And it's go, go, go for the feature race here. Guys, we really did ourselves good in qualifying by qualifying so far down the grid. This race is going to be one hectic battle to the flag, but I'm going to try and aim for a top 5 position. I know I've got it in the car. I know I've got it in myself. But as you guys can see, George Russell is leading the way from Nick de Vries in second place. My teammate Sergio Tete Camara is battling with Alexander Albon for P3 as we head down to the chicane for the very, very first time. Alexander Albert is on the outside for the first part, gets the inside line for the second part of the chicane. My teammate will have the inside for the hairpin. It's very, very tight between the two drivers, but my teammate just gets ahead of Alexander Albert. But let's see if Alex can do anything with the slipstream that he will have to his effect right now. Remember guys, DRS only gets activated on lap 3. So this is pure slipstream power. Alex pulls to the outside. He's going to be late onto the brakes as late as possible, I think. Around the outside for the first part of the chicane. On the inside for the second part. My teammate is hanging in strong, but he is struggling to keep up. And my championship rival has got his damn score ahead of my teammate Sergio Sete Camera. And guys, that is Alexander Albert into P3, right behind Nick de Vries in P2 and George Russell in P1. I'm sure George, Nick and Alex would like to end off the season with a bang. And as you guys see now, Luca Giotto is putting my teammate also under pressure on the outside, bouncing the car over the curb. Guys, that's me on the inside. A massive dive up the inside as I make a double move on my teammate and Luca Giotto. And I even cost Giotto a position from Nicholas Latifi and almost from Artem Markelov as well. That was a very, very opportunistic move from myself, to say the least. Guys, jumping back to our POV for our start of the Grand Prix. You guys see I swerve over to the left-hand side to block off the other car so I don't get jumped. On the inside, I have a very good dive up the inside. I don't know, I know it's Louis Delatras's teammate and Jack Aitken. I don't know who Delatras's teammate is, but it's the last race of the season, so I'm not going to go try and search out all the drivers. As you guys see, heading into the first chicane, I go for another dive up the inside. I think of, yes, that is Louis Delatraz. Up the inside now, right behind Artem Markelov. Into the hairpin, I have a little look. Oh no, I don't have a look. I go for a massive dive. A little bit of contact made between myself and Markelov. And now we are right behind Nicholas Latifi and Luca Giotto.
Good job.
Thank you, Jeff. That is exactly the start we needed. We have already gained 4 positions, and we are now trying to mount a move on Nicholas Latifi, who is going defensive. We are on the brakes on the outside with Nicholas Latifi on the inside. We go around the outside. It's a beautiful move. We get the move done before we even get to the second part of the chicane. And now we are right behind Luca Giotto. Guys, I'm storming through the field. I've got the final race passion within me. We are heading for this. If things keep going like this, we might even bank a podium. Heading into the corner, you guys can see I see my teammates and Luca Giotto going side by side. And as they head through the second part of the chicane, or the middle parts of the chicane, they are side by side. They slow each other up and they just leave the door wide open for me to get a double move down on them. And I've gotten myself all the way up into P4 from P11. That is the start of the season by far. What a beautiful first lap from myself, and the first lap is not even done yet. Jumping back to the POV of George Russell, who is going to lead us across the line for the end of the first lap. It is George Russell leading the way from Nick de Vries in second and from Alexander Albon in third. There is the first lap done and dusted, and now we've got to sit in the car, get ourselves focused up and sit down for the rest of this Grand Prix. As you guys see, my teammate Sergio Sete Camera is trying to mount a move on myself. I think this is lap 3. Yes, it is, because the DRS has been enabled. I struggled to keep up with Alexander Albon, and my teammate Sergio Sete Camera made sure that he was going to pressurize me. Guys, I did not feel that I had the pace on these red super soft tires. I needed to get the mediums on my car. If you guys kept an eye on my race strategy, I'm going to come into the pit lane very, very early. I'm going to come in at about lap 4 and try and get the undercut of the century on the rest of these guys. But at this stage, it is Alexander Albon pressuring me like there's no tomorrow. And as we go through the chicane, you guys can see Nick de Vries and George Russell are building a gap towards Alexander Albon as we defend our P4 position from our teammates and Nicholas Latifi. Going on to the end of the fourth lap, guys, you guys can see the car's understeering like crazy. I just have to get off of these tires. Also, the left front was overheating like there was no tomorrow. So getting off these tires, the quicker, the better. As we dive into the pit lane, the very first car to dive into the pit lane, we are going for a very, very big undercut, and we're going to have to push immensely hard these coming 2 laps. Luckily, I know these mediums will hold until the end of the Grand Prix. Off with the red, on with the yellow. Guys, the reason I say super soft and mediums, remember these are the 2018 cars, so the tire compounds are a bit different than the 2019 cars, just so you guys have that in the back of your heads. Guys, exiting the pit lane with the coolest pit exit of the season. The Abu Dhabi exit of the pit lane is absolutely wonderful. Going underneath the tunnel, basically underneath the track, and coming out here on top. It's a flat out S section. As you guys see, we go through here, we have the inside line, we cut the pit lane, well, the track that separates the pit lane from the track line just a little bit, but nothing that the FIA thinks we're exceeding track limits. I know if this was esports, I would just have gotten a massive slap in the face in the form of a penalty. But in any case, guys, we are still going for this. And as you guys see, the end of the very next lap, it is Alexander Albon diving into the pit lane. I think his engineer was on the radio telling him that your championship rival just pitted behind you. Let's get you off of these super soft tires. Let's get you out ahead of him. And guys, with all due respect, I don't think I did enough. The tires, for some other reason, the tires overheat so easily here. But with the F2 cars, they struggle to heat up for some other reason. So it took me like almost 3/4 of my outlap just to get the tires at the optimum temperature to start pushing, where usually it takes at maximum half a lap, and that's like maximum. So I don't know what the medium tires problem was on my car, but oh, that's a massive hold up for Jack Aitken in the pit lane. That is just sad. But in any case, guys, the tires just wouldn't heat up, and I did put an abnormal amount of strain on them just to get them heated up. So first of all, it cost me a little bit of grip for later on in the race, but also it took me just too long to heat up the tires. So Alexander Albon did come out ahead of me when he exited the pit lane. But guys, these are the guys that I'm trying to close up on, and with Alexander Albon also going for the undercut, it is going to be very, very possible to get closer to these two, the two leaders, George Russell and Nick de Vries. As let's see who's quicker, the Prima pit crew or the ART pit crew. George Russell v Nick de Vries' pit crew, as both cars dive into their pit boxes. It's the ART pit box first. We can look at the background there for George Russell, unless the front Jack guy just stands in front. And as you guys see, George Russell is out. His pit crew is definitely faster than Nick de Vries' Prima pit crew. So George Russell will maintain the lead unless Alexander Albon has got something to say about it. Once again, the POV of George Russell as he goes underneath the tunnel. There's Alexander Albon coming through the first corner. Will he have done enough to get ahead of George Russell? I do not think so. But he splits the two leaders and gets himself into P2 as Nick de Vries falls all the way to P3. I'm sure he's going to be screaming inside that cockpit. Guys, heading on to the end of lap 7, let's quickly run through the top 10. It is George Russell leading the way from Alexander Albon in second place and Nick de Vries in P3. In P4, it is still myself driving as Lando Norris in P4. I've got a nice gap to the cars behind me, so I'm in a race of my own. Fifth place is my teammate Sergio Sette Camera with Luca Ghiotto in P6 right behind him, right tucked up underneath his gearbox. Nicholas Latifi is in P7 with Louis Delatraz in P8. P9 is Artem Markelov, and P10 is the teammate of Louis Delatraz, whose name I still have not gotten into my head. But guys, heading on to the end, I think this is, that's what, the end of lap 11 or start of lap 12. The screen on my side is a little bit blurry there, so I couldn't see exactly what lap it was. But as you guys see, I know it's the end of the race, and my teammate and Luca Ghiotto have caught up to me. I think this might be the final lap if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. As you guys see, he's trying to pressure me, and with me using those tires as hard as I did after I made my pit stop, the last two laps I had next to nothing grip, where these guys were going to have obviously better grip because their tires were fresher, and obviously the AI heated up the tires much more efficiently than I did. So we are under pressure. It's Carlin v Carlin, Sette Camera versus Lando Norris. Let's see who takes P4 in this race. It's not the first time this season that me and Sette Camera have battled. We've battled a few times this season. If you guys remember back to Monaco, we both basically had a massive blunder at the end of the feature race, I think it was. I can't remember if it was the feature or the sprint, but we made contact on the final lap entering the third sector. So after that, me and Sergio were really careful with one another, but still, it is just like me and Sergio always battle, and that is always excellent to see. Teammates duking it out, not giving anything and not having any team orders. That is always a dream come true. And as you guys see, because Sergio pressured me, I forced him a little bit into retaliating, and now he has lost another position to Luca Ghiotto. We've already won the Constructors, so it's not the end of the world. In any case, guys, George Russell is going to come through to win the Abu Dhabi feature race, and this has been a dominant performance from George Russell. Alexander Albon couldn't even mount a move on any lap, so that's why you guys saw nothing about the leaders. But guys, end of lap 16, so it was a 16-lap race. We are going to come through the final corner to cross the line for P4 in the sprint, in the feature race. Not the win we wanted, but the sprint race lies ahead.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for ART today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can, it's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
I have to give it to Lando Norris. One of the best things about Formula 2 is watching these young drivers grow and mature, and it feels like his career took a big step forward today.
On to the teams then. So then, Carlin have done it. This result seals their victory, and they are team champions at last. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns. We've reversed the top 8 from yesterday's race to set the grid for the sprint race here today, and the drivers are almost ready on the grid down below. Joining me for the race today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, it's great to have you with us for today's race. Any tips for our drivers out on the track today?
It's a real pleasure to be here, Alex. We are in for a spectacular day in Formula 2. My advice is to stay calm, look after the car, look after the tires, but don't be afraid to push when you see an opportunity. Using the DRS on some of those long straights will be crucial for the driver looking to make a challenge.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I'll try not to, Jeff. Guys, you guys already heard it after the feature race. We are going for a win here to end off the season with a bang. I want redemption for Russia. And you guys know what happened in Russia. It was not nice at all. Like it, not even a little.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Jeff, I will do that. Guys, you guys know in Russia, we lost the feature race thanks to rain and being baited in the pit stop phases by the Prema team, gifting Nick de Vries the win after we qualified in P1, and also losing the sprint race thanks to a DRS failure with 2 laps to go when I finally caught up to the 2 leaders. So I want redemption for Russia. I'm not taking anything less than P1 for the sprint race as we head to 5 red lights for the final time in 2018. It's go, go, go for the sprint race. It is actually Louis Delatraz and Nicholas Latifi on the front row. Nicholas Latifi gets the jump on Louis Delatraz with my teammate Sergio Sete Camera in 3rd, and Nick de Vries and Luca Giotto are in P4, myself in P6. I got jumped by one of those 2 cars. I started in P5, guys, but at this stage Louis Delatraz is right behind Nicholas Latifi as they head into the first part, well, into the chicane for the first time. I go up the side of 2 drivers as you guys saw in the background, but we'll go jump back to that in just a second. We are with the leaders at this stage, heading through the hairpin right next to the stadium. The fans are going nuts, as you guys can hear. And now it is Nicholas Latifi leading the way from Louis Delatraz, from my teammate Sergio Sete Camera in 3rd. Guys, it's the POV of Nick de Vries. You guys see I got a terrible amount of wheel spin off of the line. Usually you can just put your foot flat down and let these cars launch and they will be fine. I had to give way to Nick de Vries, but guys, like I said at the beginning of the race, I'm not taking anything less than P1. I want to end off the season properly on my terms. As we head into the chicane, you guys can see I go for a massive dive up the inside of Nick de Vries, as well as Luca Giotto. I'm not taking any prisoners for this race. Luca Giotto makes a little bit of contact as Nick de Vries bounces his Prema over the curb of that very large inside sausage curb. We make the move on Luca Giotto, and now we are setting our sights on our teammate Sergio Sete Camera. Sergio, don't do a Monaco, my friend. Do not even think about doing a Monaco. I want the win, and I'm going to work for it. I'm not just gonna let you just let me pass. I want to fight, but don't do anything stupid. Heading into the chicane after the straight, guys, that I could not do anything. At this stage, you guys can see it is actually lap 3 or lap 4, I'm not sure. I think it's lap 3, and we are busy fighting with our teammate as we head into basically the middle sector chicane. We go through the shot there, and as you guys can see, I'm right behind my teammate. I get an excellent exit coming out of that chicane after the first DRS straight. Now we've got DRS for the second straight, and I don't think there's anything that Sergio can do about me at this stage. We go to the outside, we are late onto the brakes, we take the esports line, we force our teammate to bounce his car over the curbs a little bit, and we get ourselves into the podium positions P3, and the only two people who are left are Louis Delatraz and Nicholas Latifi. I am not taking any prisoners. This is my time to shine. I know I've already won the championship, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel a bit greedy. I want a W behind my name for the Abu Dhabi. Well, the Abu Dhabi F2 weekend. I can't call it a Grand Prix because this is not classified as a Grand Prix, I think, I'm not sure. But in any case, guys, on the first straight, DRS open. You guys can see Delatraz is trying to mount a move on Nicholas Latifi. He forces Latifi to go defensive. I am right behind them. I go for a massive dive up the inside of Louis Delatraz. That was so unexpected. I caught Louis Delatraz napping. Going through the second part. We are side by side coming out, but I've got DRS now right behind Nicholas Latifi, and Louis Delatraz is behind me. Going also for DRS right behind me. As we head into well, basically this is a triple chicane. I am right behind Nicholas Latifi. That was a beautiful move on Louis Delatraz. Very unorthodox, very uncanny. That was just like, I don't think Louis Delatraz expected that one little bit. I was very late onto the brakes, and to take avoiding action, I just decided, well, what the hell, let's go for the move. But guys, now it's time to set our sights on Nicholas Latifi. He's on he goes a little bit defensive into the corner. You guys can see I moved a little bit. This is a beautiful camera of the rear of the car. I do the very quick exit out of the chicane like I did with my teammate Sergio set the camera. DRS open. We are behind Nicholas Latifi. It is now or never. Lap 6 of 11. We go to the inside. We almost exceed track limits, and as we go onto the brakes, Nicholas Latifi will hang around the outside, but we're going to give him the squeeze. Actually, no, we're going to give him space. Side by side through the triple pause chicane, and we get ourselves into P1. That is the lead of the sprint race. Now to keep it is another story. That is another story. Guys, we head all the way, I think this is on to lap 9, and as you guys see, Nicholas Latifi is still right underneath my gearbox. I get a massive kick of oversteer coming out of the hairpin. No. I cannot make mistakes like that. Nicholas Latifi has also got DRS. I am down speed already before he even had DRS. Look at how Nicholas Latifi is making an absolute mockery of me. Guys, I'm going to have to try the move, the same move that I did when I overtook him and my teammate. The very same strategy. Get a very straight as possible line through the second part of the chicane. We've got DRS now, thanks to him overtaking us that early. This is defensive, actually, more than offensive. As we go into the same corner where I took the lead from him the first time, this time he forces us to go to the outside. We are on the outside. There's nothing we can do. We got the inside for the second part. Who's side by side. He's got the inside for the third part. The inside again for the 90-degree left-hander. But we squeeze our car right ahead of him before he can do anything. And guys, that is it. We are going to come through to take a win here at Abu Dhabi. Even though it's only the sprint race, I would have loved the feature race, but I'm not complaining. Underneath the hotel for the final time of the 2018 F2 season, Lando Norris, my friend, get in there, lad. You deserve this championship, and we're gonna come across the line for the final time and take the sprint race win here in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, baby!
Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
So as they climb out of the car, the Carlin team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now. We have a new Formula 2 World Drivers' Champion.
guys, that has been that. The 2018 FIA Formula 2 World Championship is done and dusted. We take the win as Lando Norris, a dominant season from ourselves. We were challenged at a few spots, I'm not gonna lie. But guys, overall this season was a little bit of a slaughterhouse. When I do the 2019 F2 season, I'm hoping and praying for a bigger challenge from the AI. Otherwise it's going to be a very, very lonely season once again. In any case guys, the first half of the season there was no problems. The first half of the season I actually was very, very contested with by the AI. It's just the second half, I sort of ran away with it, and I'm not gonna lie. My two main rivals, George Russell and Alexander Albon, they were just smashed with unreliability, problems in the pit lane, and just really unlucky calls. So I don't think I really made much mistakes this season. Obviously there was that moment at Silverstone where we didn't finish the Grand Prix, well not the Grand Prix, the sprint race, when me and Markelov made hefty contact and it basically forced me into a DNF. I hit the barriers going through Maggots and Beckett's at immense speed. That's the race that I DNF'd. I DNF'd out of the very first sprint race of the season back at Bahrain. You guys know I just didn't know how the F2 tire strategies work. So that was just absolute chaos. And so throughout the season, I've had more DNFs in these 24 races than I do in my F1 season. So that says something about these F2 cars. Guys, now that I've driven the F2 cars, the 2019 cars are basically exactly the same, so there's not really a difference. These cars, without a doubt, are more challenging to drive than the F1 cars. But the fun factor that you receive while driving these cars is something that is undescribable. I love every single second of driving this car. It had me raging a few times, it had me frustrated a few times, don't get me wrong. There was a few times where I wanted to throw my controller right through my TV screen. But you know what? These cars teach you to work hard for results. Sometimes the F1 cars make that come a little bit too easy. These cars, you have to work for every single point. Especially now in the F2 season that there's points for qualifying as well. You guys know now that you've watched the season, the guy that gets P1 in qualifying gets a bonus of plus 4 points for the weekend. And really, I can't describe to you guys how much fun it was to have every single AI exactly in the same car. These Dalaras, that's the maker of the cars, Dalara. These Dalaras are just so much fun to drive. The only thing that makes them different is the different vinyl schemes that the teams have. But having all the AI in the exact same car, that is actually, it's quite epic. It is absolutely epic. And guys, the highs and lows of the season, obviously the two lows I've already mentioned, the two retirements. I would say Russia was just an out and out low after qualifying. Qualifying to me was like, yes, we've got the pace, it's time to win a feature race that we haven't done in a long time, and it just, the unluckiness of that weekend struck us so badly. And if I have to think back, Austria, a little bit of an unlucky one with it, where me, Matsushita, no, not Matsushita, but I can't remember, but it was me, Alexander Albon, and one of the Japanese drivers who made contact. The top three had a crash, but we still saved it that weekend, so it wasn't really a low, it was just a very hard fight back. So guys, basically the lows was Russia and my two retirements. The rest of the season I can classify as average or just absolutely epic. I can remember Spain was absolute chaos. Italy, race of the season. If you haven't watched Italy yet, please go watch Italy of these F2 cars. That was by far the weekend of the season. By far, by a freaking space mile. That was the weekend of the season. But guys, that has been this 2018 F2 season. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been here since episode 1, thank you so much. I love you to the ends of this earth. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Please leave a like down below. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. Follow me on all my social medias. Please share this video with your friends. You guys are the word of mouth. And please subscribe down below. Ding the bell to never miss a future video and have all your F1 2019 and Dirt 4 needs met. I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!